It's very easy to check what are the best and most picked heroes within Marvel Rivals. As you can see here, we can go through all the competitive ones, we can go through all of the heroes in general, and it will show you between their pick rate and their win rate which ones are being selected the most. But we also have team composition within this game, and that's something that people don't talk about too much, but I think it's quite important that you pick the correct team composition to allow you to climb up those ranks, because that is what the high level players are doing. So the first thing we did was check what resources were available to us, and we came across the Rivals Tracker website. Now this allows us to see what are team compositions that are being used. So the first thing is that this is based off of win rate, so which ones get the most wins. So as you can see here, a 2 Vanguard, a 2 Duelist and a 2 Strategist combination gets the most wins within Marvel Rivals. So that's something that probably everyone kind of expected, a 2-2-2 split. Then after that you can do a 1 Vanguard, 3 Duelist and 2 Strategist, and that is the second most in terms of win rate. And then the third most in terms of win rate is 1 Vanguard, 2 Duelist and 3 Strategists. Now one thing this website doesn't tell you is what heroes are actually being selected within these compositions. So that is what we wanted to figure out. So to do that, we went through the top 50 players and we went through all their different games and just basically went through them to see what compositions were actually being used. And these are their recent 10 games. So we basically went through 20 games worth of team compositions, and that is because there's 2 teams in each team composition. We ended up with 40 teams. And obviously if we went up to maybe 100 teams or even higher, we'd get more of an accurate result by doing this. But what we want to do is note down all the team compositions that we saw within these games, and basically we've noted them all down on this spreadsheet so we can figure out which ones were the highest picked in terms of composition. What is very interesting about this is that none of these team compositions came out more than once when we ran our results. And that means you're not going to run into the same team over and over and over again. And that's partially maybe down to the ban system within these higher ranked lobbies, or the fact that there's just so many players to choose from, or so many heroes to choose from when it comes to Marvel Rivals, that we've got so many options that people don't want to select the same characters over and over again, which is great to see, by the way. But regardless of that, we did see some trends, and I do want to share these with you because essentially we got to see a lot of quads show up over and over again because of how powerful they are and they work together. And what that means is you can fill up the extra 2 slots in your team with whatever heroes you want by using the hero hot list or whatever it may be. So the 5th most popular team composition that came up was Doctor Strange with Storm, Cloak and Dagger and the Invisible Woman. Now the other 2 slots can be left for maybe 1 more DPS and 1 more Strategist if you want, or 1 more Vanguard. That's completely up to you. As I said, the 2-2-2 split is the most popular and the one with the most wins, but you can obviously do some of the other splits that we mentioned at the start of the video as well. But this was the 5th highest composition that came up when it comes to our data that we collected. At number 4 we have Doctor Strange with Loki, Cloak and Dagger and the Invisible Woman. So again, we've got similar characters showing up over and over again, and that's just because they work so well when paired together, and that is why we're seeing them repeatedly over and over again. And obviously Doctor Strange is one of the most popular heroes to use within this game at the moment. At number 3, again, we've got Doctor Strange, Magic, Cloak and Dagger and the Invisible Woman, and again you can pick whoever you want in the last 2 slots. The second most popular team composition that came up was Doctor Strange, Magic, Cloak and Dagger and Loki. And the first highest team composition that came up within this was Doctor Strange with Magneto, Cloak and Dagger and Luna Snow. And this combination of these 4 players in conjunction with maybe another DPS in the game as well is absolutely ridiculous. People are using this so much in higher levels, especially that Magneto Doctor Strange combo. And then Cloak and Dagger is such a highly picked player in this game. It's absolutely ridiculous how high she's chosen to be a healer. So these are the heroes you definitely want to have in your team if you have the option. When it came to these team compositions, only 1 duelist showed up within these team compositions, and that was Magic, and that is because she's extremely powerful at close range to take out like some of the high health targets like the other Vanguards in the game. But not to mention, I do think the duelist section of this game is obviously way higher than what we get with the other two categories. And when it comes to the vanguards, we've got such a small list of vanguards to use that the same ones are going to come up anyway. And the same goes for strategists as well. So we're going to always get similarly the same kind of strategies showing up over and over again, especially the more powerful ones like Cloak and Dagger, Invisible Woman, Loki, and Luna Snow. I do think these are the best in the game, so they will appear more often. As I was saying regarding the duelists, we've only had one of them, but all the duelists in this game are pretty solid to use, but they all work slightly differently, and we broke this down in our guide series that we'll leave linked at the end of this video, where you can figure out the difference between a dive hero and also a ranged DPS and tanks as well. We also discuss how you use them, so if you can check that video out at the end of this one. But like I said, there's so many of these to choose from, and they're all pretty good anyway. So there we have it. That is the closest thing we have to team compositions when it comes to Marvel Rivals at the moment. Now, we don't take any files from the game or anything like that. We're basically testing manually, so please keep that in mind. And if a website does come out that basically gives us the exact team compositions that are working really well at the time, then we will update you. But we'll also keep updating this video as well as we get new heroes added into the game. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.